Hi all, welcome back. This is part 6 of the series of video 9. In this POC, we will use the AWS cloud and we'll use Ubuntu OS. And here we will set up the Kubernetes cluster using the kops tool. This demo is on the totally on the AWS, and I will share the next video, which is the same setup of Kubernetes cluster using kops with in GCP cloud. So agenda for this discussion is we will just discuss on the introduction of the kops, and after that the Kubernetes installations and how can we deploy the application like services deployed on the same cluster, and what is the steps for the deletion of that cluster which is created by the kops. We will cover all those things here. No, kops is a Kubernetes operations is an open source project used to set up the Kubernetes cluster easily and swiftly. It considered the kubectl way to creating the clusters, and the kops allow deployment of high availability Kubernetes cluster on AWS and Google Cloud. So due to this reason, I'm covering this kops installation, kops tools using for installation of the Kubernetes cluster on both the clouds AWS and Google GCP. So here, what we need to do here, kops installation, we need to create one Ubuntu system, or we can take it our local system anywhere where we need to install the, we will install the AWS CLI, and we will install second after kubectl. And after installing this kubectl, we will install the kops. And after doing this, we need to do some certain roles we need to create over there. And in this, we need to attach those roles to the Ubuntu system, which will used for the creating the Kubernetes cluster. This is just a separate machine which we'll use for creating the Kubernetes cluster. And we will use this step and we will multiple steps are there. After that, when we need to create one S3 basket where kops will contain all those information over there. And when we will create a cluster using this command, you can see here kops update cluster. That time it will create the below resources. EC2 instance, it will create the EC2 instance and folders and files in the S3 bucket, creating new roles, creating creating records in the Route 53, and it will create a launch configuration for the auto scaling. It will create the auto scaling group, and it will create the new VPC. This is the this task will be created when we will create the Kubernetes cluster. And after validating the cluster, we can check whether our cluster is created successfully or not. After creating it, we will check the total nodes. We can define our nodes and master nodes and worker node during the configuration point. We can do it. And after completion of this things, this is deletion process. This is deletion command which we use here, and it will delete the same things which is created. And we will check it manually also whether it is deleted or not, like auto scaling group. This is a deletion process is like this. If you want to delete it manually, then we have to go like this. First we need to delete the auto scaling group, then launch configuration, S3 bucket, then Route 53 hosted zone, VPC roles, and then EC2 instance if required. Because when we are deleting the auto scaling group, it is instance will delete it automatically. Now, after that, we will deploy one application on that Kubernetes cluster, and we will check whether it is working, services are created successfully or not. We will do it, all those things here. And you can see we will use the GitHub URL. You can see link here where we have all those files for that. And after deploying the application, we will test that application, and after that we will remove all those pods or services, right? This is the agenda for today discussion. So let's start the POC. We will do step by step, and I've created all those steps in this PPT in one place, so it is easy for us to understand and do it. We have done from here. Now we will start from here. So first we will go and create one Ubuntu EC2 instance, right? And we need to put the name like Kate Management Server. So this is my console, AWS console. I am going and creating the EC2 instance here. You can see here we don't have any instance available here. It is counting is showing 0 here. You can see here we need to go and select Ubuntu 18.04, and I'm selecting the free tier T2 micro default setting, default storage. I'm giving the name of this server K8s management server. I am selecting all open ports, so we'll not get any port issue here. And this one, I'm launching the instance. So you can see here instance is creating, status is pending. So meanwhile, we can go and open the Git base. We will connect our machine from here. So our PEM file is present in the download folder. So I am just going in that folder. Let's connect with this instance. You can see it is connected. I'm taking sudo. Now I am updating the packages. Package updated. Now you can see in the PPT, we need to change the host name, right? So I am changing host name. Oh, sorry. Let me copy it here. I've saved it, and now I'm setting the host name. Now you can see here, this is a server name is Kate Management Server, right? So we have done this thing. We need to install AWS CLI here because it is a Ubuntu system, so no CLI is here. You can see here AWS version command is not there, right? We need to install the CLI. We can see here it is zip file is loaded for AWS CLI. I am zipping it, right? It's done. Now copy the file into the USR location. You can see here, yes, this is there, right? You can see here. And now we can see the version installed, right? You can see version CLI version installed, right? Now we need to install the kubectl. You can see here we don't have that word kubectl installed here. See, nothing is there though. So we need to install it. We are getting this package. Now I am just giving the executable right to kubectl. Now moving to the USR bin. You can see this version is installed. This version is 1.20. This is the correct version, right? Now we have installed AWS CLI and kubectl. Now in the next slide, we need to install the kops tool. So you can see here currently we don't have installed any kops here. See here, nothing is there, right? So we need to install it. See here, it is kops. We got kops 10x empty. Now we are giving the executable right to this one. Now moving this to USR side. Now we can check the kops version. It is installed 1.18 for kops version installed, right? Now we need to create a IAM role with Route 53 EC2 IAM and S3 full access, right? So for this creating this role, we need to go to the console and we need to search for the IAM role. I'm opening in the new window. Now you can see here roles. We have only 4 roles right now. So we need to create the roles here. This is for EC2 instance, right? So we are going for the next. Now we need to search for the policy here. S3 full access. See this one. IAM full access, right? Route 53. Route 53 full access, right? And which one is pending here? You can see we need to take EC2 full access, right? EC2 full access, right? EC2 S3 53. We have selected all 4 roles, right? Next tagging, not it is optional, right? Next review, I am putting my role name is KTS role. And you can see this 4 role is selected over here, right? role for Kubernetes, right? What is coming error? Okay. Now I'm just creating this role here. You can see this role is created here, right? Now I am going to the EC2 instance. And security, you can see no IAM role is attached over here, right? So attach this role to the instance. I think networking. No, I think security. Yeah, modify IAM roles, right? You can see here, I am selecting, this is a role which is selected KTS role, right? I'm saving it. Now you can see here in the security tab, you can see this role attached over here, right? Now we have done this step also attach IAM role to the K8, and now we need to configure. Now we can see here AWS configure. We need to configure here. Actually, we have already assigned role to the instance, so don't need to assign access key ID here and secret access key. We are not providing here. But I will give the region name. You can see here in my instance is running in North Virginia, and North Virginia is a US East one. So I'm giving here US East one and go with default output, right? Now it is configured, right? So we have done this slide, right? So moving to the next slide. Now we need to create a Route 53 private hosted zone. So for this, we need to open the Route 53. Okay, this is the Route 53. You can see it is opening here. And we will go to the hosted zone and you will create a hosted zone here, right? And I will put the name of Mentu.net, right? Domain name. So actually, I don't have any public domain here, but we can use any private domain here. I will show you how can we do it. Route 53, you can see here hosted zone. And this is a create hosted zone, right? And I am putting the domain name, my mn2.net, the description, right? And we need to select here private hostel because I am not doing it publicly. For POC, I'm using the private hostel zone, right? Now we need to select the region, which region we want to do it. So our region is US East one, right? So yeah, North Virginia, right? US East one, I've selected, and this is selected by default VPC, right? You can see here, I selected US East one and default one and create a hosted zone, right? Create hosted zone. So it will create the hosted zone. Here you can see here two entries created for the NS and SOA for that, and this is created. It is chargeable thing, so just be careful where using the Route 53. Right now, after that, we need to create one bucket here. So let me open S3 bucket here. So this is S3 one. You can see currently we don't have any bucket. So I will use create the bucket demo create, but this name domain name should be there with this bucket. It is mandatory thing. So be careful. Whatever name we are using for the domain, you need to use that name, right? So I'm creating this S3 bucket here. Not here. We can create directly from here, but I want to do it from the console, right? So let's check whether this bucket is created or not. You can see this bucket is created, right? Okay. And you can see currently in this bucket, we don't have anything, right? See, when when COPS will create the Kubernetes cluster, that time which will store the files over here in this S3 bucket. And that time we will see multiple files over here. I will show you at that time. So this is completed. Now we need to export this to the bucket name to the COPS side. So I'm running this command here, export one is exported, right? Now we need to generate the key pair, right? I'm just checking where we are in the root side, right? We are doing on the root access. So I'm generating this key pair. It is generating the key. See, you can check it here. .sss file is there. ls-al. I think I'm doing at the top of it. See, you can see this is the .sss file is there. You can see this is the public key and private key it created for that, right? Now, now we need to create a Kubernetes cluster on the S3 bucket. So we need to run this command. See here. Oh, started actually. Okay, I'm just explaining those things. Okay, what happened actually, right? I'm enlarging it. Okay. You can see here we are creating the COPS create cluster. This is the command we are using for the COPS, and this is the cloud. We are using AWS and Jones. Jones is just like availability zone. It is a nasty region. It is availability zone which we need to take in the. You can see in USA availability zone we can take 1A, 1B, 1C. So I've taken 1A here, and this is name of the cluster which is given same as the name of the DNS name which is created at mn2.net like that. And you know, this is the zone which we've created the DNS in the route 53. Our name is mn2.net. We have provided here. And this is type of the DNS which we have provided here. This is a private. So when we run that thing, it is created multiple things. You can see here, it is created multiple things, including the VPC roles. You can see IAM roles, instances, it is created, right? And you can see it is key pair, everything it will create, right? So just you can check it out. It is all those things are there. I have listed out the things which thing it will create when we will run the final command. So still it is just it will create these things which I explained earlier, same thing. So let's see the S3 packet whether we will get anything or not here. You can see here we get this is created one folder here. In folder we can see multiple files, we got it, but still apart from it we are not get any other thing. You can see just refreshing it, no role is created, nothing is created, and you can see here Nothing is created. Actually, it is just a details which thing it will create. So we need to run. You can see here we need to uh, run this command cops update cluster C. Yes, after that it will finally will create our cluster. So if we want to edit our something, we can check it out from here. We can edit the things. It is just a pre-sample. You can see it is created, and say, based on that we can verify that, and after that when we run this command, we will create a similar things like that, right? So you can see run this command like that. Here you can see in this slide also. See, cops edit cluster. This is a cluster edit. We can edit the cluster. We can edit the nodes group. We can edit the master instance, right? I will show you. And here you can see get cluster list of cluster. We can get it from here, right? So I will show you that thing also, but we can edit it. This is cluster which is there. So first we will edit that one, this thing. See, oops. Actually, we need to run directly. See, okay, you can see it is showing the details for the cluster details. What is it? Where it will created instance group. You can see here, and type in Kubernetes version, and subnet and master DR. Other details for related to the cluster, it is showing over here. Okay, now we cancel the edit. Now we can see here, this is the node instance group, total worker nodes. Okay, so we will go here. See, this is the node, worker node, right? You can see here maximum size, minimum size of nodes. If you want to increase or decrease the size, we can do it from here. And you can see here machine type, it is showing T3 medium. That is chargeable thing, right? And you can see subnet, right? US East 1A. This is availability zone, right? Which is selected earlier. And this is, so we need to change over here, right? So we will change the instance machine type, because this is the, for the demo purpose, we can take the T2 micro, right? So T2 micro, we have changed instance. You can see this is the saved, right? Now we will check the master group. Here you can see this maximum size of master node is 1, and minimum size. We can increase the size also to, based on this, it will create the systems. Again, you can see it is using the 3 medium, which is chargeable for demo purpose. We can take this one, but it will be a little bit slow, but we can work on POC, all those things over here. So if we deploy those things on here, automatic deploy will take some time for the reflecting on the Kubernetes side. So that is okay for this demo purpose, right? So I'm taking micro, T2 micro, right? Right. Now I am changing it, saving it, right? Now what we did, we have changed the machine size for both master and nodes, right? All 2 nodes and 1 master. So it will create a 3 system. So we are okay from up to here. So finally, we need to create the cluster. I told you we need to run this command. It is written over here. You can see, you can directly copy from here and run it. And now it will create the cluster, right? You can see it is started, right? Now actual cluster creation is started right now. So it will take some time, maybe 5 minutes. Let's wait, and I will show you in between something whenever it see. So you can see here, cluster is starting. It should be ready in a few minutes. You can see here message is coming, and we can validate cluster. COPS validates cluster after wait 10 minutes, right? So let's see what is doing in the backend side. We have access from the console. Just see, this is a content. We have only 2 instances when we create this record set. That let's refresh it, right? Now you can see here it is created 2 record set here, right? Here itself. And now IAM side, let's check. I'm refreshing it again. You can see it is 2 more roles is created for the master and for the nodes worker machine, right? This is two things are created here. And from the S3 side, already it is created. Now we can refresh it. It will create some more files over here, right? See here, it is created some more folders and files, right? And now let's check the instance side, whether we have got any instance or not. Let me refresh it. See, we got 3 instances here. It is running state, right? And all are T2 micro. And you can see here this master is ready, and still these 2 nodes are still in progress, right? And also it is creating the scaling is a launch configuration, not a scaling group. It is creating in the backend side, right? So I will show you that thing also. You can see here this is creating the 2 launch configuration, and one for the master, one for the nodes, right? And auto scaling group, you can see it is created by default also auto scaling group also. See, 2 also created, right? One for the master and 2 for the nodes, right? 2 nodes. It's created here, right? So it is still it is working condition. You can see our instance total running. It will show 4 machine, because 3 for the Kubernetes and 1 for the master machine, right? See, all instances are running, right? You can see here, right? So let's go back and run this command, COPS validate cluster, right? This is the command. And here you can, I have written this validate the cluster, right? It is created this step I have showed you earlier, right? And this is COPS validates cluster. We need to check here what is the output we are getting. You can see here, it is showing validation fail, status not ready. So we need to wait for some more time. Cluster not yet healthy, right? So you can see here it is showing the details for this. This is master server. This is T2 micro. We have changed this to T2 micro, and it is showing minimum 1, maximum 1 I showed earlier, right? And it is node is showing T2 micro, and its total nodes are 2, right? So let's check again. Still, it is it will take a few minutes. So in between, we can discuss on the slide. Yeah. After that, we will connect to the Kubernetes cluster from directly from this server, our management server. We will directly go to the Kubernetes master server, and we will connect. We will check, because you already created this SSS key. And if after that, we will check whether all nodes are up. Then we will check we are getting all details of the nodes or not. So this is our installation side for up to this step. Only 2 steps are pending. So let's validate it again and check it whether we are getting or not. No, it is taking time. So meanwhile, I'm pausing this video for a few minutes and I will come back once our system its validation is ready, right? Now you can see here our Kubernetes cluster is ready and it is created one master and two nodes, both are ready, right? And before this, I'm getting message like that here. Uh, Only one system, one node is not ready and one node and one master is ready. After that, I'm getting message like everything is ready, right? I will show you once more. See, all are true, right? So now in this slide, this validation done, and we can go here and try to connect with to the Kubernetes master cluster from management one, right? You can see here we have connected to this IP. See, this is 172.20.62.74. Let's check this IP, right? We can see this is a management server which is created early. This is a master server, right? This one. And the public IP, this one is 170.20.62.62.74. And same IP we are connected with this Ubuntu user, right? So what we need to do, you can see here. I'm taking sudo from this machine because we are in master machine, but we are not able to remember this name. So I'm changing the name here, right? So in the later stage, I am setting this master node here, you can see. So I'm setting here. Host name, you can see here. I'm saving it. Now, again, I am taking sudo. You can see it is showing now master node. We can easily recognize this thing, right? So we have done this thing. I am just exiting from this place. Now I log out and let me do it again. Do it again. Okay. Now we reach to the management server, right? And you can see here, if we will try to connect this server again, we will try to reach directly to the master node, right? And we will do exit from this server. We will directly reach out to the management server. We will do same thing with the Ansible system with the Docker one last demo I've showed you. So this thing already configure with the management server to the master server, right? So currently we are in the master management server, right? So we need to check this, run this command and check the nodes, right? We can see here kubectl go get node. You can see one master node and two worker nodes are there. All are ready state, right? And we can see here kubectl get all command. You can see nothing is there. Only one default cluster is there, which is created over here, right? Nothing is here. So let's check run both command on the master server directly. Using this server, I am connecting directly from this server to the master server. Now we are connected with the master server. I am just coming here and I'm running kubectl get all. So this command directly run on the master server with Ubuntu user. You can see here we are getting nothing is there. So we can we are getting the default service, right? And kubectl get nodes. If you want to see all the nodes, we can see it here. So it is working from the both side. We can do run the any script from this server directly from the master server, or we can run the script on the management server. Both are the same thing, right? So we have done this installation. If you want to remove or delete this cluster, just run this command and it will delete everything. So currently I'm not going to delete this cluster here. I will delete this cluster at the end of the next video, because my next video is this part 7, where I will show the CI/CD pipeline using Git, Jenkins, Maven, Docker, Ansible, and Kubernetes. So I will use the same Kubernetes cluster over there, and after this end of the demo, I will run this command and remove the Kubernetes cluster over there, right? So it will you can get this in the next video. This is part 7, that one, but still we are in the part 6. But still we have done this installation portion, and this portion I'm keeping for the next video, part 7, for deleting this cluster, right? So now we need to deploy this cluster, some services on the cluster, and checking that it's running or not, right? So I'm just going to that cluster, right? And using this GitHub URL, and we need something from that, like I'm cloning the things here. We are in the master node, right? So I will run from the management node. We can run from the anywhere, right? So just try from the here. I've raised to the OPD. Nothing is here. So I am git clone. What happened? Okay, it is already there. Double git clone. Okay, it is cloning it. You can see here. Now I am going there. Now, okay, it is showing. Now I'm going to the. We are already in this path. So I am going to the gate, and not application is there, right? So you can see here this not application is there. So we need to run this XML YML file part service and deployment file. Both files are there. So I will run over here. See, this is the simple command we need to run. Okay, it is running, right? We don't have anything here, correct? So we'll run first this mongo.yml. Right. Before this, I just want to explain what is this file. Let me open this on the GitHub, right? And Git system, where multiple things are there. You can see for the Kubernetes. So we will use not application here, right? You can see not, we are using this file. First file is mongo.yml, right? So this is mongo.yml. I'm just opening it. You can see this is the deployment file. This is Kubernetes YML file. If you know Kubernetes, we can understand very well. It is mainly the 4 types XML. It is written in the API version, kind, metadata, and the specifications, right? So kind, we can define the deployment or service, whatever we want to do it. This is a deployment one, and you can see here we are using the containers here from Mongo directly from the Docker Hub, and this port is we are doing, right. And you can see here in this same application, we are using another version for the service also, and we'll use same selector using the Mongo, and we expose the port number port 27017, right? This is our backend side because it is a data DB things, right? Mongo. So it will create, when we will run it, it will create one deployment for this and one service for the this Mongo, right? And next application, next one is node.yml. You can see here, it is a type, again, it is API version. It is in a 4-part API version and kind is deployment. And you can see here, it is using the front end of tier and it is using the not.js.1 version, right? It is a from, it will take this image from the Docker Hub and it will create one service. Service type is, you can see here, node port service. Service is mainly for the 3 type, load balancer, node port, right? And other one is the cluster one, right? Cluster IP. That is used for the internal, but node port is there and node port IP is 30,000. So we can access this application over the 30,000 URL, right? So it will again, when we'll run this thing, it will create a one service and one deployment set, right? So let's go and check. You can see here replica, it will create only one replica, means one part will be created. And same we have used in the that mongo.yml replica is one. So it will create only one pod over there. We can create a multiple replica, right? So so I'm running this thing directly here. So you can see one deployment is created, one service is created, right? Let me run this command again. It will create one more, deployment and one service. It means we have a 2 service and 2 deployment, right? So let's run, check the get all. You can see here 2 services created, service not, right? And service Mongo is using for the backend. So using this type of the cluster IP. This is the backend. We are using the cluster IP. We not access from the outside. And this type is a node port. You can see here, and you can see node port is there. So we can access via this node port public IP to this port number, right? This is created just 12 seconds before, and this is 24 seconds before, right? And it is creating the 2 deployment set for the Node and Mongo, one for the front end, one for the back end things, right? And it create the replica set because you have selected one replica set only. So you can see here one desired and one is current, one is ready. One is ready meant one port. For this node, you can see node 775C75. This pod is created, and you can see here B49. This pod is created for the Mongo, right? So we have a 2 pod is running over here, and it will maintain the one every time. This status, right? So this is the deployment has been completed successfully here. Now we will go and check it. So we can check that things in different way. It will work like a master public IP colon node port, node 1 public IP with node port, node 2 public IP to node port. So let's go and check. So you can see here in this master public IP, you can see here this one, right? Public IP, you can see I'm running directly in this browser. And 30,000, right? I will show you port number. This port number 30,000, right? So this is there, and you can see here directly, we need to run it, it will work. But you can see here, it is not working here because we have not opened the firewall for that 30,000 port. Because in the starting, actually, we have selected all port for this server, Kate management server, but we have, this is created by the Kubernetes cluster, and this is 30,000 port is not exposed here. So we need to go to the security. And this is security group, which is created by Kubernetes cluster. And inbound rule, I'm just editing the inbound rule here. I'm adding add rule, custom TCP IP. I am adding 30,000. And this is the custom, and I'm selecting for anywhere, right? Save rule. Now we can go here and again reload it. See, so we are on the master server. So I'm rating master and publish. It is storing, backend side is storing in the database. So it will run when we will run it again, right? It will keep these things. So let's check in the other nodes, other server. We have run this server on this master one, but we have two nodes, right? So first node, this node, right? Node, this node, public IP, you can see here, public IP is this one. I'm copying it and running it here, colon 30,000. But again, it will not run because we have not exposed that port over here in security. Let me expose the port over here. It's safe, right? So let me check here. You can see here, this is saved in the database we are getting in here. So I am writing here, this is for node one, sorry, node one. And I'm publishing it, right? You can see here node one is coming here. Now we will go to the node two and we will check. This is our node. And you can see here, public IP and 30,000 port, right? I'm just putting it here. We are getting it. You can see here node one we are getting here. I am putting here node two. You note that why we don't need to open the port here, because this both node are using the same security group. So we have opened it here in the node one, so don't need to open it here because same thing here, right? I'm publishing is node two here, because that not application is storing in the database also those things. And you can see here we are here, and just I want to refresh this page for the master node. You can see I will get the updated data over here. See, we got it, right? So application is working fine, which is deployed on the Kubernetes cluster, right? So now we want to delete the pods. So we need to delete the YML file. We can delete a multiple way, but we can delete using the same Mongo YML file. So what we will do here, I'm deleting it. It is deleting one deployment, one service. Now I'm deleting it again. It is deleting one deployment, one service again. Now, if I will check for the kubectl all, we are not getting anything. Just is it terminating this pod also? You can see here, and it is deleted all those services and deployment set. See, it is still terminating. It will take some time for terminating. It is strategy terminating, right? So we have done this demos, and in this demo we have deployed all those things, creating the Kubernetes cluster using the KOP, and we deployed one application on service and access application on the all servers like master and nodes, right? So in the next demo, we will cover the CI/CD pipeline using Ansible, Docker, and Ansible, and we will deploy that things in the same Kubernetes cluster using the Ansible. So I hope you like this video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and like my channel, right? Happy learning. See you in the next video.